Currently, it's 80 degrees at 1:59. Your time of your temp is brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Here, it's a little bit of a wild. I was coming back from lunch. I was telling you guys this a second ago. Coming back from lunch, it was perfectly sunny and bright outside. All of a sudden, I'm sitting in my office, and about 7 minutes later, it's torrential downpour outside.
Turn quick.
Yeah. But we have a lot of good weather coming up this weekend,
No
so
doubt,
that's what
it's gonna be
matters.
beautiful. And it's been beautiful part of that. It just, storm going through.
Yeah.
No big deal. And our weekend started last night. I mean, holy cow, what a great event at the J Fund event. And I thought the venue was cool. I thought the way they did it with the baseball stadium, it was really neat. It was really neat the way they did it.
We know what the J Fund does for this community in general, and what Tom Coughlin's created there is just fantastic. And I feel like every year, Tommy, you've been several years now too. Every year you've been, I've been. I think this is my 4th year, and it just feels like it's getting bigger and bigger. And I think that's cool too, because it's just the J Fund in general. But you get a moment to see people you don't normally see out there, and it was kind of a big. We saw a lot of media, TV, and radio combined, and then obviously Baselli, Liam, and James were all out there. So it's a cool event.
I want to commend Liam and James and Chad Johnson, and their wives for just to be a part of it, man. It's cool to see the new regime say, hey, this is really important. We know it's big in the community. We know Tom's the original. It's just, and they were having fun. Like, they were very approachable. People were coming up to them left and right, want to shake their hand, say hello. It's just good stuff, Jamal. You know what I mean? It's a good thing for them to do.
Absolutely. And Liam Cohen's really shown that he really wants to be a part of this.
Yeah,
community.
totally.
It feels like he's trying to figure out the fabric of Jacksonville and how he can kind of weave himself into it a little bit.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job with it. And his wife, too,
Absolutely.
They were
She's great.
Yeah,
she's very active on social and chatting with people. I love it. I saw one of the things, like giving away tickets throughout the season to
First
people.
responders and teachers in the area, which was
great.
awesome.
Absolutely.
We love the people that dive into the Duval community right away. It's fun.
You're like the first lady in Jacksonville.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's great.
I think she was talking to girls' flag football teams. The Jaguars had an event, and she's talking to the girls before they get out there on the field at the Miller Electric.
Yeah.
So it's just really cool to see how both of them have really kind of found their niche and kind of ingratiated themselves to the community.
I love that. I think it'd be fun to get her on, actually, chat a little bit to her about that.
She was part of a group that worked out at Christina, my wife's fitness studio. And Christina says she was really sweet and really nice.
Was she good at her fitness?
She was.
Okay,
she was
good.
pretty athletic. Because you got to be kind of athletic to move around on those trampolines that they use.
Oh, it's
those smaller ones? Yeah, they're going up and down. I like running straight up and down. I don't do all the turns and twists and all that. But she was pretty athletic, Christina said. So, because I always ask, I'm like, are they athletic? Whoever comes in.
Yeah,
so.
That's my first question, obviously, too, even though I'm not. So,
yes, you
used
are.
to be
We
athletic.
worked out there.
I used to be athletic. I just don't do as much anymore. I need to get back into it.
There you go.
Let's get into some of the Jags. We got a few notes today, obviously, with some contract restructuring. Eric Murray, $4.2 million into signing bonus. They converted $4.2 into that, and then clearing $3.36 from Eric Murray's contract. Patrick McCary converted $9.2 million, adding 3 void years, clearing $7.36 million. So let's just start there. This is the beginning of it. We're expecting some more to come along. But first thoughts on that, Jamal, with those two guys.
Hey, look, they were able to kind of put a dent in it. They still need to clear up like $4 million just to get to the cap space, and then a little bit more if you're going to have some wiggle room to go make some moves and try and keep some of your guys. So there's a lot of interest going around. I think this is a good start. James Gladstone and company were doing some good work behind the scenes to kind of start just clearing money where they can.
Yeah, I thought the Eric Murray one was pretty creative. Just I wasn't thinking of him as one of the targets, to be a guy that restructures. The players love it. They get the money up front.
Yeah.
It's like, here you go. You got to figure out taxes and stuff like that. It's a little different, but it's nice to get that big chunk. McCary, I think he had an $8 million, what you said, a cap hit, so they brought that down, which is great. They've got more to go to make more room. They, as we all know, they need a bunch of room if they're going to sign any free agent
Right.
at all, and for the draft class. Like you got to have, I don't know how much money you got to have for it, but you got to have over 10 million, I think, in that regard. So, but they've got candidates still, right? You got Walker Little, you've got Eric Armstead, Deham even. You know, I'm sure he would love a little, you know, hit up front.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a while since he's had his signing bonus. You know, those kind of guys they're primed for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I saw Ryan O'Halloran post Walker Little, Foye Oluokun, Devon Hamilton, Josh Hines Allen, Ezra Cleveland are some names to keep a lookout that could be good candidates for that restructuring.
Absolutely. All of those names would make a ton of sense. Now, you do have to keep in mind for a guy like Foye, they've already restructured his contract before, so there's already some void years on the back. So how many void years do you really want to add to a contract before you start saying, all right? And so
you got to pay the piper eventually. Eventually, you have to.
Now,
Unless you're the Dodgers, then you just defer everything.
Exactly.
Just push it down the road. It'll be
We'll
fine.
make up for it somehow.
Yeah, when you look at that, when you look at some of those names, I think the difference is the two they did today, obviously, with Murray and Macari. Those are their guys. They signed those guys last year. Do you think those conversations between guys they brought here and signed is a little easier than maybe the ones that aren't their guys? Do you think?
I don't know that it makes that much of a difference. Like for these guys, like Tom was saying, like it's a little bit of a paycheck. This is good. And this is the luxury of when you have an owner like Shad Khan's not getting any credit for this.
Yeah.
But he is the one that's opening the wallet a little bit for some of this money to be able to be paid off
Right now.
So that's the perk of having an owner like Shad who has some deep pockets, who's willing to spend and kind of say, hey, come to me and tell me what you need to field a good team. So they have that flexibility. Every team in the league doesn't have the same flexibility to do some of the creative contract stuff.
No, absolutely. And I would say it is, but not in the sense that we're thinking. It's more like, do we want to restructure, you know, Walker Little and then have do we want to have that even potential that he's here? Or do we want
So
to
more so on the Jag side.
Yeah. Or even Eric, like his last year, do we want to extend him?
Right.
You know, maybe we don't. Maybe we're just finished. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know where they're at. You know what I mean? So in that kind of sense. But with those two guys, there are guys. We just signed them. We can redo it. It's not that big of a deal, you know, and they get it done.
One of the notes from Spot Track, they had the Jaguars, obviously, I mentioned 9.2 million of Patrick McCarry's salary into signing bonus, adding those 3 void years, clearing 7.36 million of cap space. So he updated cap hits for that. So this year it's going to be 7.3 million. Next year, 18.1 million. And then 2028 is 5.52, and that's the void. So that's a big chunk next
the big ones next year. You don't want to push it down again.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. Unless, of course, the salary cap, you know, you can just kind of absorb it over time. But, you know, you eventually got to pay the piper.
Eventually it all comes to roost, I guess. And you know what? At that point next season, some of the dead money from some of the other moves will be off the books because you're still eating some of that Gabe Davis money. You're still eating some of that Tyson Campbell money.
Right.
They were hitting undo on a lot of the previous regime's moves that didn't kinda work. Yeah, exactly. and you know what? Some of the salary cap position they're in right now is Trent's contracts. And the way he put them together didn't really give you a whole lot of... I mean, there's no places to really hit the eject cord for them to just clear up money easily.
No, absolutely.
And to your point, Foye Oluokun has 2 void years already, 2028 and 2029. So if you're adding another on to that until 2030, that's when those conversations start to come in.
Yeah, because at some point you're like, all right, well, we can't add too many void years here. How many years after this guy is gone do we still want to have Foye on the books?
Yeah.
Like, that's not a shot at Foye as much as it is just simple management.
Yeah.
I mean, that's accounting.
Business. Yeah, he's a phenomenal player. He always will be, but eventually you got to figure out. And look, you draft Jack Kaiser for a reason.
Right.
Can he be your middle linebacker of the future is the question. And if he can be, then you move on.
At some point.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Do you see them trying a Kaiser just to see, or do you see them?
I think Foyer's your guy for at least this season.
Yeah.
And then you start seeing, I mean, Foyer's been in the league for a while. At some point, he's going to start winding it down. He has things he wants to do after football, too.
Yep.
So when does he start making that decision and thinking about life after football for himself? I don't have the answer to that.
He's a Yale grad. He's already got $1 billion idea. Like, it's happening for him. Like, he doesn't have to play football forever.
Yeah. He's a smart guy. We've had him on here. He loves basketball and big basketball guy. We may or may not be trying to get him on to talk some hoops as March Madness starts. But
that'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be a good time. We've had him on a couple times before, and he's like, "Can I just talk basketball for a minute and not football?" And so he wants to step away from that a minute. And I get it. Your whole world is that.
Absolutely. He is a huge basketball guy. If you can ever get him talking Kentucky,
Oh yeah.
oh,
Yeah, there's
that's
something.
it. Yes, he is a huge Kentucky basketball fan. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so when we're talking about some of these contracts, and you mentioned not wanting too many of those void years, I think a big conversation of that is the difference that you've already kind of seen James Gladstone when taking over of wanting to build this team for the longevity of things rather than being like, hey, let's build this for a year or two. And that's what it always felt like Trent Baalke was doing. Like, let's, a year or two, we're going to be really good. We're going to, the money's great. We'll have a few picks and the team will be good. That's kind of what happened in 2017 and then obviously 2022. And then things fall apart because they're not thinking enough about the future.
Yeah. But doing these restructures and extending, you're saying to your organization, we're winning now. Like we'll like that cap hit next year for who was it, McCary? Did you say that was going to be 17? The hope is if we win a Super Bowl next year, we'll just cut them. Like it'll be no big deal because we've got our championship.
Yeah.
And if we got to start unloading guys because they have high cap numbers, then we'll just do it because we've already bought ourselves time by winning the championship.
The fans are happy for a little while.
You chase the championship. You look at Seattle. You see how many free agents they have.
Yeah.
Right.
They got. Now they got a lot of money too, but at the same time, they're probably like, "Hey, we got our title.
Yeah.
We bought ourselves some time. I mean, that's how it works. You are paying for that title. You're chasing the title, and when you get it, that's when the next year you start saying, "Hey, thanks for your time here, man, but we're not going to pay that $17 million cap hit. We're going to figure that out, and out you go."
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what? Good teams draft a year or two in advance.
Right. That's right.
So
For
they've
someone to
already
take
drafted
over.
Wyatt Milam, who they want to be a guard, more than likely replacing Makari in a year or two whenever he's ready. The same thing. They'll do the same thing on Ezra Cleveland at some point, probably this offseason, because that contract is getting to that point. So that way you at least have a guy, an in-house replacement on a cheap contract. If he's ready, then you let this guy go. Hey, thank you for your service. And you move in your nice young draft pick, draft and develop. And if not, if you say, oh, man, you know what? Josh Hines Allen is a guy that we can't afford to field without, or can't, like they tried to do it with Foye Luke, and they drafted Devin Lloyd and Chad Muma. You're not going to tell me that wasn't a target on that guy's back. But Foye showed he was way more valuable than those two draft picks, and he was able to keep him on the bench, and they gave him an extension. It's not like it. Good teams will try and draft your replacement. If it works, great. If it doesn't, you keep the guy there. That's kind of your floor.
Which, like we were talking about with ETN yesterday,
Same thing.
You got Tootin and you got Allen Jr. Maybe DJ Dallas, is a return guy, and who knows what he could do on third down. But are you ready to turn it over?
Yeah.
You always got to replace the guys that are leaving.
Yeah.
I mean, try to. That's the whole idea. Maybe you're lucky in the draft, you just fall into it.
Yeah.
Or maybe you have someone you've already drafted that's up and coming. Or maybe you're lucky with a free agent. But you got to replace that person.
Well, in camp, they had 5 running backs. And I remember that because Jaquindon Jackson was one of those
and
we
he's
talked
nice.
to. Yeah.
He's a bruiser.
He runs tough.
Yeah, he does.
Every time when he finally got on the field, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
By the way,
now.
let's see him after a year in the weight room.
Yes, definitely.
The Jags weight room, their program.
We're going to continue on some Jaguars talk pretty much for the majority of today. But on the other side, Brett Coleman's going to be joining us. He's the creator of All 32 and co-host of Bootleg Football. So this guy gets really in the trenches of film and really in depth when it comes to free agency and the draft. So we'll chat all things Jags in the AFC South. That's coming up next on Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
Backed by Green Law Group on 1010XL. It's more than great drives, stellar shots, and perfect putts. 1010XL is your radio home for the Players' Championship with live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates. Teed up by
Dynamic Drives and Designs.
Wingstop
And North Florida Medical Centers.
Alert! Alert! Termite swarms are active right now in Jacksonville, and once they get inside, damage can happen fast. Termites don't knock, they silently attack the structure of your home, leaving behind costly repairs and long-term headaches. Protect what you've worked hard for with the proven protection homeowners trust. Terminix Safe, with advanced termite treatment and prevention solutions. Visit Terminix.com and schedule your free termite inspection today.
Bowden Iron Associates.
Helmets and Heels Friday.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
The key to victory is anticipation.
The road to the regular season rides through the combine, free agency, the draft, OTAs, and mini camps.
They should be fun to watch.
Follow the offseason with AA Automotive. and 1010XL.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $5,000 per ounce, and silver is over $100 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold and silver for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Northeast Florida's highest-rated residential home electrical contractor is American Electrical, providing unsurpassed quality. Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Nassau counties. No matter your electrical problem or project, large or small, American Electrical will get it done at a price that's right. High-quality electrician, that's who they are. Trusted company that's been on the First Coast for decades, proudly serving the community while being a big part of the community. Call American Electrical for all your electric needs at 737-7770. Wired right at a fair price.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. What's better than beer? Cold beer. Put your company logo on a custom koozie. Check them out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space and just haven't pulled the trigger, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures right now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business. Spring will be here before we know it. So give them a call today and upgrade that area that needs it the most. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
The Florida Forum welcomes world-renowned chef and humanitarian Jose Andres at the Center for Performing Arts March 31st. His impact spans the globe as founder of World Central Kitchen, Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient, and global leader using food as a force for change. All proceeds for the Florida Forum benefit the Women's Board of Wilson Children's Hospital, supporting a new outdoor play area for behavioral health services. Get your tickets now at thefloridaforum.com.
Northeast Florida isn't just where we work, it's our home. I'm Chris Campione, and when an accident turns your life upside down, you need a law firm that truly understands this community. At Campione Law, we treat our clients like neighbors, not case numbers, and you don't pay a dime unless we recover for you. From semi-truck accidents to medical malpractice and even workers' compensation, we handle it all. Visit CampioneLaw.com. Offices, Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
All right, Jacksonville, you know spring has officially arrived when the pollen's flying, the grass is growing, and your septic system starts thinking about getting your attention. Trust me, a simple pump out now can save you from a disaster that'll have the whole neighborhood holding their noses. That's why you call Duck Duck Rooter the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida. Real pros, not somebody guessing with a shovel. Right now, schedule your spring septic clean and get $50 off septic tank pumping. So when you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Welcome back into Helmets and Heels. Tom McManus is here. Taylor Dawes here. Jamal St. Cyr joining us today as Lauren Brooks enjoys her final day of vacation. Aaron Williams on the board back there producing for us. And now we are joined by Brett Coleman, creator of All 32, co-host of Bootleg Football. Brett, thanks for hopping on with us. I know we've had you a few times, and it's always great chatting with you.
Of course. Thanks for having me back.
I want to start off with just kind of the generalities. One of the things that you do for people that don't know that All 32, and you put a lot of work into breaking down all 32 teams throughout the offseason and, you know, the changes that come in between their free agents and draft picks and the coaches and how that's going to fit on the new team, and a lot of film analyzing and all of that stuff. So this last offseason, when it comes to Liam Cohen and all of the conversations, what was your thought process by the end of the season of what Liam Cohen did with this Jags offense and specifically Trevor Lawrence?
Well, I mean, if you look at what the Jags were in the first half of the season, I think they were fundamentally different than they were in the back half of the season. In the first half of the season, it was actually a very inefficient offense. They were putting up points, but they also had a lot of possessions per game. You know, they were darn near breaking the franchise record for most forced turnovers in the first half of the year. I think they had like 13 or 14 in the first 7 or so games. Started out super hot as far as win-loss record, but they just weren't a really efficient team, and they kind of lived and died by those turnovers. So I had a lot of concern about that. And then, in the middle of the year, got smacked a couple times by, arguably the two best teams in the league in the Rams and the Seahawks. And you started to see them retool in the back half. They brought in Jacoby Myers, just an actual reliable receiver, going to catch the ball, going to be in the right spot at the right time. And then, the emergence or reemergence of Parker Washington. It was kind of interesting to see how BTJ all of a sudden became wide receiver 3 in this offense. Travis Hunter, unfortunately, injured, but they switched their outlook for receiver in the middle of the year and became a better offense, became a more efficient offense. The turnovers on defense dropped, but the team got better because they could actually rely on this offense to score in fewer possessions per game. And, Liam also did a great job, kind of getting the run game going in the second half of the year. And by that, I mean actually running the ball. Kind of dropped the screen game that wasn't super effective. And so you saw this team grow in real time throughout the year from a team that won a lot of games but weren't very efficient to a team that was more efficient and then also started to win a lot of games. And I'll be honest, I probably thought they were one of the 3 best teams in the conference by the end of the year. Didn't go their way in the playoffs, but I actually have a more positive outlook on them for 2026 than I think even a lot of Jags fans do.
Oh, that sounds good. We like the sound of that.
I like that.
Now, you mentioned the running game a little bit, especially getting going late in the season. One of the big decisions for the Jaguars right now goes around Travis Etienne. This was a huge season for him. Bashal Tutin kind of got sprinkled in there a little bit. What did you see from Travis this past season, and just how hard is it to replace a guy like Etienne?
Well, it's definitely hard to replace him with this draft class, right? It's a very thin running back class. They're not going to get Jeremiah Love. They're not going to get Jadarian Price. And, looking at all these teams that are really trying to keep their starters for this coming year, I think Seattle wanted to keep Kenneth Walker, but realized they couldn't compete on price. So he's going to be a free agent. But, other teams like the Jets, they're holding on to Breece Hall for dear life because they can't afford to let their guy go with a very thin incoming running back class. And so what I'm interested in, with the Jags is what happens with Etienne, because they don't have that much money to work with on the surface. And even after their maximum restructure potential, they can get up to about $40 million in space, but they have other guys they have to pay. And even after restructures, that's still bottom 3 in the NFL as far as restructure potential. So they're up against it cap wise. They kind of can't afford to lose their best running back. But you also, now Floyd might also be a free agent. We got to figure out what we're going to do with Bretton Strange in the future. There's a lot of decisions to be made here. Not a whole lot of money to work with. I don't really know what they're going to do with him. But if I was them, I'd do what I could to keep him.
Brett Coleman here with us from the All 32 and Bootleg of Football. Brett, great to have you on the show. I follow you on Twitter. I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate that you're a film guy, Brett. That means a lot to me. Tell me, after watching the defensive line in 2025, what was your assessment of them overall? And then real quick, just, what kind of years you think the starting 4 had?
Man, when they were healthy, they were ripping people up in the beginning of the year. Trayvon Walker got dinged. Really, all of them got dinged at one point or another.
Mm-hmm.
But they were very, very good at executing stunts. It was a very stunt-heavy defense. They were one of the better stunting defensive lines when everybody was healthy, partially because Trayvon Walker's just a wrecking ball in there. He's turned into a real player. Josh Hines-Allen is still himself. I want to see if they can add to the interior rotation.
Mm-hmm.
I still think they need one more just kind of bona fide ass kicker on the inside. But, they have a very good edge duo that kind of sets the tone. They had great linebackers behind them. It was just a very well-coached defensive front that executed at a very high level when they were healthy.
What do you think about Eric Armstead? Will he be back in 2026, in your opinion?
It's one of those, what do you replace him with, right? And
correct. Yep.
Luckily for them, this is a good defensive tackle class. So they could get a guy like, maybe Caleb Banks falls to them. That's the pipe dream, but good luck with that. But I could see Kristen Miller from Georgia, if they want to go back to the Georgia well. There's a bunch of DTs in this class. Grayson Halton from OU, day 2, he could be almost like a Nnamdi Madubuike type for them. They are going to have options, but they need to be really confident that they're going to get one of them with their first 2 picks, because I think they're going to start flying off the board pretty early.
Brett, when you look at the offensive line for the Jags, there were moments of really good and moments of, questions when it comes to some things. Some of the injuries were a part of that, but obviously Walker Little gets hurt, never gets it. Cole Van Lanen ends up taking over that left tackle spot, and then you look at the inside, they bring in Makari, they bring in Hainsey. Ezra kind of keeps his spot there, but it was a little bit, I think it was allowed 41 sacks, 14 of which, though, became between 2 games between Seattle and the Rams. But thoughts on that offensive line this year, and does it need to improve more this offseason?
They got some in Van Lanen there, and I believe they extended him as well. But that ended up being a pretty sneaky pickup for them. I think depth is still an issue. I want to see what they have in Wyatt Milam, I was a fan of him. They took him in the 3rd round last year. I want to see what they have there, because he could be a good guard for them in the future. But I still feel like when they're running the ball, I want to get a little bit more vertical displacement on the line of scrimmage. Like when they're working these combos, it feels like they were making progress laterally, but you still got to get a little bit of displacement vertically. You got to blow guys, a yard or a yard and a half off the ball for those combos to really work. So it's an athletic offensive line. It's just not a very powerful offensive line. Maybe Milan can fix that in the future, but it is kind of an area of concern for me, especially if they lose, ETN. Because I'm not 100% sure if, Bashal Tootin or Allen, maybe even DJ Dallas, like if they're getting significant carries, like can they make a whole lot of nothing out of something? ETN's superpower is the fact that he can get you 3 yards if he's supposed to get 1. So I think there is work to be done there. But again, luckily, this is a fairly deep offensive line class. They can upgrade that on day 1 or even day 2.
Hey, you mentioned the draft class. This year's linebacker class is a pretty good looking one too, and a popular guy around these parts, especially if you go on those mock draft simulators. One of the most frequently picked guy from Jags fans is Jacob Rodriguez. Brett, what do you think about the odds of Jacob maybe making it to Jacksonville to help replace Devin Lloyd?
I think he'll be there in round 1 for their round 1 pick. This is a very good linebacker class, to your point. I look at C.J. Allen from Georgia. He would be, not to go back to the Georgia well again, but he would be one that I zero in on for them. I talked to him a little bit at the Combine, and a nugget that he gave me was that Glenn Schumann, who's the Georgia DC, he would interject with, situational calls that he had on his sheet, but for most of the time, he would just let C.J. run the show on the field. He was a 20-year-old green dot who, by the way, was playing in college football while they transitioned into the green dot era. When he came into college football, they didn't have that. 2 years into his career, all of a sudden, linebackers have a green dot now. So Schumann just let him call everything, and he was great at it at 20 years old. Really smart kid, great leader, super rangy. He's not as big as Lloyd, because Lloyd, I think, has a pretty long frame there. But as far as instincts, range, like all the stuff you want from your middle linebacker, I think C.J. Allen could be the pick there.
I'm worried that Devin Lloyd will go somewhere in the division, and I keep hearing the Tennessee Titans. You never know about that. But at the end of the day in the AFC South, Brett, when free agency is over, who will have made their team the best?
Boy, it's tough, right? Because the Texans are trying desperately to.
Yeah. What do you think of that David Montgomery trade? What do you think about that?
That was the Texans telling you what they thought of this running back class. I'll tell you that.
Okay, yeah, fair.
Right? Which, again, that should scare Jags fans, because if the Texans are doing everything they can to get David Montgomery for that kind of haul, that tells you what teams think of this group here. So, again, that's priority number 1 for me, because this team is better when Trevor gets 3rd and 5 instead of 3rd and 8. As for the AFC South teams and who's going to come out on top, the Texans are trying to keep their core together. I don't know what their plan at offensive line is yet. I'm assuming they have one. I'd love to see what it is by the end of next week. But remember, half of the Texans' defensive line rotation are also free agents. They got to keep those guys together.
That's right.
Too.
Yep.
Just extended Daniil. They got a big deal coming with Will Anderson.
Yep.
Rankins, right? Basically, their whole defensive tackle platoon outside of Tommy Togiai are free agents. So Texans have a lot of work to do. The Colts, I have no idea, because they put the transition tag on Daniel Jones.
Yep.
They think he's going to be back week 1. It's an Achilles. Who knows?
Right. Right. At that age especially.
Yeah.
right? And they're probably going to lose Alec Pierce because Alec Pierce is going to get like $28 million in free agency. You're telling me the Patriots aren't going to offload all of their cap space into Alec Pierce?
Mm-hmm.
They probably would love to do that. So I don't know what the Colts are going to look like. They also need pass rush help. They have like 2 edges on the roster going into free agency, and they're in year 1 and year 2. They don't have any veteran edges. So the Colts are in bad shape. The Titans are 2 years away at minimum. They need a right tackle. They need weapons. They need pass rush. There's a lot on that list too. So it's very possible, as long as the Jags just don't bleed too much, which they did a good job keeping their staff together. If they don't bleed too much talent, they're probably in pole position for the division. But again, we're talking about the Jags and Texans here. Probably is carrying a lot of weight there.
Brett, will Trey Hendrickson end up in the AFC South, in your opinion?
If the Titans throw a boatload of cash at him, sure.
Yeah.
which they could.
Yep.
They could.
I saw the Colts too, maybe.
And like I said, they need a veteran edge. They don't. They don't have any, right? So, and also, he is a Florida guy.
Yeah,
that's right.
I would love to see him come. If I'm a Jags fan, love to see him come down there and kind of finish his career.
Oh,
in North
speaking
Florida.
my language, brother. Please bring him here.
DPR.
Yeah.
The issue though is Trey's not going to take DPR money.
Yeah.
No, right. That's right.
And you already got edges that are going to play on early downs, so he would have to give a real hometown discount for that to happen.
Yeah, we already have people down here asking if Trevor can play Travis Etienne's contract. So I don't know if we're going to be able to make that happen. But that's Brett Coleman. You can find him on Twitter or X at Brett Coleman, creator of All 32. Really fun series during summertime. I know you guys put a lot of work into that. So thank you, because I thoroughly enjoy it. And as usual, thanks for hopping on with us.
Thank you for having me.
Have a good one.
All right.
Yeah, it'll be the AFC South's interesting, and I think that we'll continue to have these conversations as free agency goes. Tennessee has a lot of money to spend. When you talk about the Texans, they pretty much both trenches. They've got to figure out a lot of things, and the offensive line being a big one, because we've seen this last couple years behind a bad line. CJ Stroud struggled a lot, and that's your QB that you're having to decide now if you're going to pay him next year.
I mean, wouldn't you go after Linderbaum if you had the money? If you're the Texans, I mean, you need at least that.
Yeah.
I mean, what did they just re-sign? Trent Brown,
yeah.
big monster tackle. Who I saw read that his last part of the year he played okay, but still, that's one position.
Yeah,
they let a lot go.
Yeah,
their offensive line has been in shambles for years. At this point, absolutely in shambles, and they've got to figure out a way to fix it if they're going to find a way to be even just competent. I mean, you can go get David Montgomery, who's a solid running back. But he's not a magician back there.
No, he needs help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
12
mean,
wins, though.
it will be interesting because
that defense was amazing.
I know.
Yeah, I know, and that's the thing. You look at it, and like the defense is so good, but they couldn't run the ball. Their line was terrible, and CJ Stroud played fine. He had 19 passing touchdowns, and they won 12 games. So it's like
it helps when you got Nico.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for
and you
sure.
get Tank Dell back.
Dell back. They drafted a Jalen Noel last year. I liked both those young wide receivers too. You started seeing more, so they're a little scary, but there are a lot of things that kind of are going to have to click at the right time. But the one thing with David Montgomery that will be interesting to see there is he's kind of seen both. Like the year before with the Lions had a top 5 offensive line in the league. This last year, they were bad. They were not a good offensive line because obviously you lose your left tackle and Ragnow, and things kind of fell apart there. Now Taylor Decker just retired too. That was one of the pieces of news released today. But so he's been behind a good line and bad. Oh, he said he wanted release.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, are you kidding me?
I know.
Somebody's salivating over that.
Oh,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let's get to some more Jaguars on the other side, some other news and notes, and maybe some rumors that are trickling around once again in the NFL. So we'll do that coming up next on Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels Friday.
Written by Bowden Iron Associates.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Be the first to discover the best new home community in beautiful Green Cove Springs. Highland Trail, where the rhythm of life slows down. Enjoy green spaces, luxury pools, pickleball courts, winding trails, and more at livehighlandtrail.com. Choose from 3 premium builders, just starting in the 300s.
Oh, at Highland Trail. DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to ITPPartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success. We've all been there. You hear about an incredible event Monday morning, but it happens Sunday. Stop missing out. Jacksonville is the flip side of Florida, and we have the solution. From under-the-radar sporting events to the perfect family outing or date night, Visit Jacksonville is your all-access pass to the city. Plan your 2026 season at visitjacksonville.com/locals. visitjacksonville.com/locals. Or download the Visit Jax app for the full lineup. See what you've been missing.
If you're listening to 1010 and you're a parent, chances are your kids are playing sports. Check out i9sports.com with spring and summer registration open right now. In the gym or on the field, and now at Tocoi Creek High School and Westside Middle. Check it out, i9sports.com.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Attention Northeast Florida golfers. Save hundreds on golf at premier local courses and support youth development. The First Tee of North Florida Tour Card is your key to big savings and making a difference. For just $99, you'll unlock discounted golf and offers at top courses and local businesses all year long. Plus, every Tour Card purchase helps fund programs that build character, confidence, and life skills for kids in our community. Grab your Tour Card today at tourcard.org.
Which school won the first NCAA men's basketball championship?
When your homeowner's insurance policy is up for renewal, it's a good idea to shop around to find a better plan. Southern Oak Insurance for over 20 years provides Floridians a clear option. SouthernOak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The Oregon Ducks won the first NCAA men's basketball championship in 1939. They defeated the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Welcome back into Helmets and Heels. Tom McManus, Taylor Dahl, Jamal St. Cyr, Aaron Williams. We're continuing on some Jags talk. I've seen rumors kind of resurface. This is something we've talked about on this show already when it comes to Brian Thomas Jr., but we had it a couple weeks ago where the one Steelers reporter said that he heard that phone calls were being made to the Jags. I've heard a few people coming out of the combine say similar in the sense of people have called the Jags just to kind of more so get an idea of what that conversation around Brian Thomas Jr. looks like. And then now it made me think yesterday after the DJ Moore trade and the Bears getting a second-round pick out of DJ Moore, obviously, and then sending a fifth and DJ to the Bills, it made me think of, if somebody is calling, if they're saying we'll give you a first or a second, how much are the Jags actually listening? Because in all reality, someone broke this down in the sense of, so the two from 2024 and 2025, those two seasons, DJ Moore had 148 receptions, 1,648 yards, 11.1 yards per catch, and 12 touchdowns. Brian Thomas in those 2 years, 135 receptions, 1,989 yards, 14.7 yards per catch, and 12 touchdowns. So pretty similar numbers, honestly, but the yards per catch is bigger and the yardage is bigger. Granted, some of that obviously is DJ Moore was competing with Roma Dunze and Luther Burden and Cole Kmet and Colston Leveland, a lot of weapons there last year. But, you know, BTJ was doing that here in Jacksonville too. So a lot of people are kind of predicting at this point. I read this one is from someone named Kevin Smith. He is the host of Steel Sea Network. And covering the Steelers, it sounds like over there. And so he said because of those numbers and because Brian Thomas obviously being only 23 years old and DJ Moore being 28 years old, that the Jags would be able to ask for higher than a second if that's the case. So if that were the case, if it's a number 1 pick for Brian Thomas Jr., what are you saying?
I mean, it would have to be at least a first-round pick to even entertain.
Number 1, that's what I mean, first round.
Where
like how high?
I mean, if it's at the bottom, I don't know.
If it's 32. Or 30,
like top
you're like
17.
Yeah, it had to be a first-round pick. The biggest thing in the difference between Brian and DJ is the contract right now.
Yeah.
Brian's still on a cheap rookie deal for a couple more years, cost controlled with the 5th-year option.
Yeah, Bills had to take a lot of money.
Bills had to, DJ's already been paid.
Yeah.
Right. That's the biggest difference right now is if I trade you this guy, you got him for a couple more years, probably going into his prime. And the option to get before you even decide if you got to pay this guy.
Yeah. And, you know, again, like we've been saying, okay, so let's say you do trade Brian Thomas and you get a first rounder that's top 20. Who are you replacing him with?
Right.
Is there somebody that you are confident that you can get that's going to replace that deep speed? I think we're going to see a different Brian Thomas because 2 things. One, when Jacoby Myers came, that allowed Brian to stay outside.
Yeah.
Brian's not an inside guy. It's okay. We don't need him to be. We need him to be outside, running deep routes, running deep digs. I told you that out. We've talked about it many times. That out pattern to him, 7, 10, 12 yards, it's like a no-brainer. It's an automatic, especially, and Trevor puts it on the right spot. It's high and outside, and he does a great job. They should have done that in the wild card on the end, you know, in that last drive.
Instead of throwing it.
But I think you're going to see a different and better Brian Thomas. Now, I do think they want him to play more aggressively. Now he blocks aggressively. And what I mean by this is he's got to get into his right. He's got to get that DB believing you're going deep every time. He's almost he's fast, obviously, but it feels like it takes him a minute to get off the line of scrimmage. You know, to really like
Which
Jimmy
Smith has said
saying that all
yeah.
season long. Like, can he get like his shoulders down and get going? Like, get that into that route so that DB automatic's freaking out because that speed you're going to go right past me. Because what's the biggest fear? Getting burnt deep, right? And every great wide receiver that is great, especially on the outside, makes it look like you're going deep every single time. And then the minute they turn their hips, boom, you cut it off. Right. You know what I mean? So I think we're going to see a better Brian Thomas. I wouldn't give up on him yet. Now, if there was a first round, I don't think you'll get it, but say it's a top 10.
Yeah.
And there's a receiver there that you're confident in getting, maybe. But that's throwing the dice against the wall and hoping for the right score. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's with a lot of money on the line. You know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty risky. I like bird in hand in this case. I like Brian Thomas is ours. We didn't draft him. The regime didn't draft him, but he's got so much talent. And remember what Liam said when he first got here. The offense runs through who? Brian Thomas.
That's what he said.
So now it
switched.
It didn't, and it switched. But, and it may not still, but he's going to be a big part of the offense. And I'd keep him on the outside. And it would have to be a really, really good deal, Jamal, for me to do it.
He was raw when they drafted him, and you kind of knew that. He had all the athletic tools and all these pieces, and he's needed a little bit of time to refine it. Look, he is fast. He's tall. He can make all the catches. He can run the routes. There are things, and I understand where people are like, and I've even done it before toward the end where you're like, that wasn't Brian. The playoff situation. But if you get rid of Brian, then you change the dynamic of that entire wide receiver room.
Yep.
And right now, when you put Brian out there, teams were putting their best corner on Brian.
Yeah.
You go to the Broncos game. Surtain was with Brian, that's with him struggling last season.
Yeah.
Yep.
He is the guy who is the dynamic difference maker. For as great as Parker is, for as great as Jacoby is, BT is the one. If you're going 90 on one play and I got to bet on a horse, I'm betting on Brian right there.
Yeah.
So I just don't think you can do it.
No, I agree. And look, in the defense of Brian from last year in the drops, okay, I always feel it's 50-50. Now, hits you right in the hands, different story.
Right.
But one thing that our quarterback, that Trevor got better at throughout the year, was he didn't throw it into traffic. He didn't throw it into that backside, safety or backer waiting for our guy. I'll never forget.
Well, he was throwing them open too, and we didn't see that a lot.
Well,
in the first half.
Right.
Yeah.
He was throwing them before the break.
Yeah.
Which he wasn't early. He was waiting for them to break and get open. I remember, I don't remember this play. Parker went over the middle, similar to Brian Thomas when Brian was having his troubles with the drops. And he didn't catch it, and he got popped by the DB.
Yeah.
And he laughed. And he's just like, I knew it's coming.
Yeah.
But it stopped.
He was like, "This is why I wasn't doing this."
But it stopped.
Yeah.
Trevor stopped doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He started really understanding when to throw that football. You don't throw it after they break it. You throw it right before the break. So when they break, they're catching that rock.
Yeah. I want to talk more about Brian Thomas Jr. and the wide receiver pass catchers in general on the other side, but we do have to hit break. So that'll come up next on Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
Protected by
Green Law Group. For the insured. Fighting for you.
where speed is the spectacle.
He'll bypass him on the back straightaway.
This Sunday at Phoenix.
We had a lot of speed.
Powered by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234. From the station with the most horsepower, 1010 XL.
Hey, Jacksonville, it's Fred Taylor. If you've been in an auto accident, you need a team who knows how to get you back on your feet and back to your life. At North Florida Medical Center, they don't just treat the injury, they treat the whole person, from physical therapy to pain management. North Florida Medical Center has a team of experts ready to help you heal and recover. I trust the team here at North Florida Medical Center, and you can too. So don't wait. Call North Florida Medical Center and get the care you deserve.
It's a Helmets and Heels
Bowden Iron Associates.
Friday.
And that concludes the Joe C. Jack of All Trades show. Tune in next week where I'll be installing my own French drain.
Joe, wake up, man.
Hey, John, I must have dozed off.
We finished those projects you started.
Whoa, my seamless gutters are actually seamless.
And they're connected into underground PVC drain lines.
And my sprinklers. Wow, look at that coverage.
Next time, just call me first, Joe.
I will, but I ain't singing that song.
Clearwater Irrigation
and drainage too.
Looking for golf that doesn't feel like golf? Welcome to Pine Royale, Callahan's new golf entertainment destination. Play a 9-hole par 3 course, compete in TrackMan-powered driving bays, and get ready for all-new 18-hole mini golf coming soon. As the sun goes down, the course lights up. Add in great food, a full bar, and space to hang with the whole crew, and suddenly golf feels a whole lot more social. Search Pine Royale Callahan and come play today.
Hey Jacksonville, David Garrard here. If you want a street legal golf cart that's built with quality and style, check out Dynamic Drives and Designs in Jacks Beach. They have new, used, and fully customized carts from the top brands like Atlas, Dodge, and Pilot Car. Every cart gets a complete expert inspection, so you know it's ready to hit the road. Their team can help you design the perfect custom cart that fits your style and needs. For your custom golf cart, visit dynamicdrivesdesign.com today and see your perfect ride.
I'm Frank Franzi, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee in Folkestone. Man, was I impressed. You have to see these handcrafted cabins. But act fast. On this 1,000-acre farm, there will only be 250 cabins. Each phase has jumped in value, so come get your lot and lock in your equity. Enjoy living in harmony with nature, going to the grocery store in your own backyard, and connecting with people grounded in food and purpose. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
Hey Jacksonville, Don here, the big cheese at Taco Lou. Well, everyone knows my wife Debbie is the real cheese at the Lou. We just do what we're told. We aren't a sports bar at all, but we have the best selection of the finest tequilas that Mexico has to offer, and that makes any basketball game more fun to watch. So come into Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach, where we love sports and we love tacos with our tequila. If you're looking for a crew to help with your fiestas at home or work, Taco Lou caters, bringing the tacos to you. Taco Lou in Jacks Beach, where tacos and sports go hand in hand.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect pilsners and lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's team time, Farah doesn't flinch.
This does kind of sound like a Taylor song, but it's not a Taylor song.
It's a good one.
Who is this? Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Did you listen to Linkin Park?
I did.
Yeah.
I still listen to
Yeah.
them. Yeah, they're great. It's
Yeah,
too bad
they're-
their lead singer, obviously Chester, he
Very sad.
they wonder how he died, you know. It's kind of mysterious. Him and Chris Cornell died the same way. Did you know that?
I did not actually.
Yeah, they did, and like a month apart.
I remember it being very close.
It was, and they were good friends.
Because you love Cornell, right?
Love
One of your
Cornell.
favorites.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's one of my favorite singers.
Yeah. Good stuff. Linkin Park always, I mean, I think it's something that you play out right now and everybody's singing wherever,
Yeah.
like in the bar or if it's a live band, whatever. It's songs everybody knows. And that's when you know you did
Yep.
your job right, when you make music that everybody wants to listen to
Yeah.
and sing. We have a little bit of a development Jordan Schultz posted. The Raiders have received multiple legitimate and strong offers on Max Crosby. And it's my understanding those teams are waiting to hear back from Vegas to initiate further back and forth. One of the teams involved told me they plan to pivot to the free agent market. So people starting to get a little impatient with the Raiders now, but they're playing their game. You might as well. People are calling about Max. You
Well,
play the
you
game
know
a
what
little
it
bit.
takes.
Yeah.
Here it is. So
Right.
you come at me with that, and then we'll talk. Don't come at me with something less.
Yeah.
I told you what it's going to take. It's
Yeah.
going to take 2 ones
They
and
said
a
2
player.
ones and a player. Yeah.
And a player.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't do that here. You know, just
No.
that's
Yeah,
a
no.
lot.
No.
That's just a lot. But, you know, for a team that thinks they're close, real close, and that's the missing ingredient, maybe.
Is that worth it
I mean,
in general?
It's worth it if you win a title.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
always
Like,
worth it if you win.
yeah,
it.
then you're
Yeah.
like, yeah. I mean, yeah, we won the title. Of course, everything was.
Which
perfect.
team, like, can you think of a team off the top of your head right now that a pass rusher right now you feel like would make them maybe a contender, but an even stronger contender?
Bears.
Yeah.
Won.
Yeah.
That's one of the
Um,
names that I know they're one of the ones calling them.
Yeah.
But they don't want to give up 2 first.
Yeah.
Give up 2 firsts and
Gee,
make
I
sense.
don't know who has the capital to do it,
Right.
but
Yeah.
teams.
Mm-hmm.
I saw where Thibodeau is on his way out with the
Yep.
Giants. I mean,
Mhm.
the Giants would love to have him.
Yeah.
You know, they got Brian. I mean, those guys are insane.
Yeah. Their
You
defense
need
can be
that.
nasty.
You do.
Those are the kind of guys you need on a team, man.
Yeah.
That's just going to make a difference in the past.
And then you do feel like finally offensively there in New York, you're building something with the neighbors and Scattaboo and Dart, obviously. And so
Maybe.
maybe they feel like you get that
Yeah.
you get that stud, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
I need more than I need more at running back than just Scatterby.
They
I
gotta
like
add
him a
something
lot. He's more to me like a change of pace.
Yeah.
I need.
He's
I
a little
need more.
mental.
And can he
Yeah, he's
stay
definitely
healthy
mental.
with
That's-
that running style
yeah.
in the league?
Oh, right, yeah.
Running backs like that tend to
Yeah.
have a very short window.
Unless you're built like all stocks.
Yeah,
you know
unless
what
you-
I mean?
Yeah.
Big,
Who
big
was a
dude.
monster.
He was a
Yeah.
a
monster.
monster. What about like Detroit? You think about like
Yeah.
him and Aiden Hutchinson.
Ooh, that'd be
going off
scary.
the edges.
No, Jamal. Shh.
I mean, you asked me to think. I'm sitting here like, where could he go?
Well, here's the thing, though. So you if you got Trey and then you got Max, Trey costs you nothing other than money.
That's true.
Yeah.
So who would you? You know,
I'd
from
take
a
Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah,
heartbeat.
and-
wouldn't you? At least for a couple years. You love Max. You'd love
Yeah.
to have Max, but that's
Absolutely.
a ton of capital.
I think you're weighing certain things, and that's what teams are probably evaluating right now. Like Max is going to be, you're going to have to give up draft capital, obviously,
Yeah.
a player, it seems like, is what they're asking. But he's younger, And then when you talk with Trey Hendrickson, he's had some injury issues. He's
Yeah.
a little older. So that's what people are trying to weigh right now. And his contract's
Yeah.
you're going to pay him a lot of money, but you're paying Max a lot of money.
Watch the Rams get in there, be like, you can have 2028, 2029.
But that's been
That's
their
what they
like
do.
their map, and that got them to the Super Bowl the last time,
That's
and they
right.
were just throwing out draft picks. Gladstone even said he's very familiar with them picks. And that's what they got.
Yeah,
Snead will do it in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's like, we won't pick until 2040. It's fine. The first round.
I mean, Max is equivalent to Stafford at the positions,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I mean, he's that
absolutely.
big of a star. Man,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be, I mean, you talk about adding him. I don't even know. You just have the entire defense. It reminds me a little because I saw Philly too. Somebody mentioned dropped Philly, and I'm like, man, those two teams, like, does
They
their
don't
defense
deserve him. Come on, give someone else a chance.
I heard one rumor today saying that they were they were opening to a trade for Jalen Carter so they could get capital to get Max Crosby, is what I heard.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm like, I don't know.
That's the kind of guy.
It's hard to find an interior guy like a Jalen Carter.
If you
I
can
know.
get Jalen Carter in your building, you do it.
Yeah.
Because those guys don't grow on trees.
Okay, Eric would be a post one cut immediately. No, I don't mean that
Sorry,
disrespect.
Eric.
I'm just saying that would be a guy that you would say he replaces Eric. No doubt about
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
And upgrades.
Oh,
And
yeah.
upgrades.
Younger, bigger, everything.
Still on his rookie deal.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have to pay him soon, but so be it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah,
It
he's
changes the
insane.
game.
And I do want to ask you one more thing. We were talking about Brian Thomas Jr. and those trade rumors that were going around. One of the things that I did hear last year, and I went back and I looked at my text to Tommy, you, and Lauren during the season because I was trying to remember when it was, and it was October 25th. I sent this text. Somebody I had heard from inside the building that there was some frustrations building with Brian Thomas Jr. and they had to kind of completely flip their game plan. We talked about that a second ago as they came in saying our offense is going to run through Brian Thomas Jr. They kind of quickly figured out that wasn't really working. And so they had to pivot. And then obviously Travis Hunter gets hurt. So then they had to pivot again. Jacoby Myers comes in and kind of saves the day in a sense, at least to get things back on track. Were you hearing similar of some frustrations with the way that he was fitting in the offense?
Look, there was definitely frustrations. You could see there were growing pains along the way. But that's part of the season. You kind of get in this mode and stuff's not going the way you maybe envisioned it going. And the frustration, I think, is because they know Brian can do all the things they needed him to do. Now, the question that, I don't know the answer to, I know he was banged up a little bit at times. He had the high ankle sprain at one point during the season. He had the wrist injury. How much did that stuff play into maybe the drops or some of the other inconsistencies we saw in his game? Look, the one thing I'll tell you about Brian right now, Brian wants to be a good receiver.
Yeah,
Brian
for sure.
absolutely has that mentality and and wants to be and will be a good player in the NFL somewhere. I think it's Jacksonville because I don't think you can afford to take a weapon away from Trevor.
Yeah.
We've talked for years around here about you got to surround Trevor
him
with as many dynamic weapons as you possibly can. Why would you take one away?
Yeah.
I mean,
When that's what your goal for the last 4 years has been, let's surround him with as much as possible.
Exactly. And you finally feel like you're kind of there and you're like, ooh, Parker, ooh, Jacoby, and I got Brian too. And then you're going to say, well, let's take one of those
Ship
away.
him off.
Right. And with Brian, look, they were off target in camp a lot. Brian was frustrated in camp.
Right.
There were a lot of drops in camp from Brian Thomas. And we were all like,
What's
'cause
going
then
on? And
the connection to Diami in camp was like, wow, look at this. This is really unbelievable. And then that didn't work out. But they got to get on the same page.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of those deep throws, the timing's critical.
Yeah.
It's not that you don't have the arm. Of course, Trevor has the arm. But if you don't throw it on time, if you don't throw it before, you got to let him run under it kind of thing.
Or stop and come back up. That's what we were seeing a lot of early.
No receivers want to have to do that.
Yeah.
Now granted, we talked about it with Mike Pereira with the NFL rules about, a lot of teams use that as you're going to get the PI maybe and use it as a penalty, and then you get the ball there, right? But no, they need to work on that timing. And if they get that down, that's what Liam was saying. Like now that we got Jacoby, we keep Brian outside. We need him to work the outside third of any defense. Like the third. Cut it in thirds. That left third or wherever he lines up, we want him to handle all of that. Everything else we'll take care with Parker, and we'll take care of Jacoby and the tight end.
And you know what? You make a good point because for 2 years now, and this was something that we saw out of LSU too, or heard from LSU kind of going in the draft, Brian wasn't a crazy practice player. For 2 training camps, we've kind of gone through, and I think, at least for me, I kind of brushed it off during training camp this year because it was like, we saw this last year.
Yeah.
Everybody panicked, and then the games came on, and the lights switched. And we even heard Doug Peterson talk about it, like, man, the lights come on, and it was a different guy. And then so we go to training camp this year. You see those growing pains of where they're not on the same page. It doesn't. And for me, I was like, this is the same old show. He's just not cranked up. Week 1.
Yeah.
He'll be fine. But for Liam, a new coaching staff, and Liam's talked about how he wants these guys to practice, to like really practice like you're playing. So for him, I could see that getting under any coach's skin of like, what's this guy doing?
Right.
What you got going on?
And that's the thing. You've got to, I don't want to say conform, but you got to conform to what the coach wants. And if you're not one of their guys and you don't conform, that's when they start thinking, hey, man, he ain't getting with the program.
Yeah, that's it.
We got to figure this out.
And you went through similar with Trevor. I mean, Liam coming in right away and saying, we've got to fix your mechanics and your feet work, and we're going to have to put some more time into this. And Trevor obviously accepted it, and you saw that work pay off throughout the season with everything that he was able to do mechanically and just what he looked like on the field. They give the wristband back, a little over halfway through the season, and you're like, okay, everything feels like it's working, but it does feel like they may be a little harder on Brian Thomas Jr. when it comes to camp and stuff this year, of just being, maybe we need to see that practice harder just so we can see that translate. Maybe we don't want the slow starts in the seasons. We want week 1 to you come out and shining.
Sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Sense of urgency.
All right, so I want to get to more Jags. I want to talk a little bit more about the trenches. We've talked a ton about Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen, but I want to get more in depth of what these trenches could possibly look like week 1. And this is way too early because it's pre-free agency and pre-draft, but at this point in time, what those lines look like. So we'll get to that coming up next on Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Fought for you by Green Law Group on 1010XL. There's a new sheriff in town.
You know him. Of course, I know him. He's the best marshal I've got.
And things are gonna be different around here.
Let's ride!
1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Hey, Tommy Mack here. When it comes to glass, you don't want average, man. You want flawless. And Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow, mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced, decorative tabletops, windows replaced or repaired to stand up to our Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote today. There's only one name around here for glass and mirror, and it's Duval.
Bowden Iron Associates, Helmets and Heels Friday.
Bret Michaels, live and amplified tour. With special guest Tesla. This Sunday night, St. Augustine Amphitheater. Voted one of the most electrifying and engaging shows on tour. Tickets on sale now at AXS.com. Bret Michaels and Tesla. The party starts now.
Patrick Young here, a.k.a. the Big PY, and you know I love my Florida Gators. Now you can hear my Gator basketball instant reaction following each Gator Hoops game. Look for my takes on the social channels of 1010XL. Brought to you by VanguardSportsLeagues.com.
Create a backyard your family will love. Jack's Outdoor Solutions, an authorized dealer of Celebrity Greens, installs PGA quality artificial turf golf greens and complete outdoor spaces. From turf to custom hardscapes, landscaping, and lighting, every project is built for style, durability, and family fun. Locally owned and trusted across Northeast Florida, customers rave about their results. Check their 5-star reviews on Google. Plan your dream backyard today at jacksoutdoorsolutions.com.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
This is Garrett Scantling, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists for any orthopedic issue you have. I'm back to my Olympic training, and I feel great.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple of years ago. Went smooth as silk, was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world #1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Coach Campo here, and I just want to tell you about the best pizza I've had right here in Duval, and that's Tony D's Pizza. Tony works hard to make every slice perfect. If you love pizza like I do, you need to go to Tony D's, Bay Meadows and 295.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione Law.
Are high-interest credit cards and other loans sucking the life out of your finances? It's time to say no more. Let Loan Pronto tap the equity on your home and get the cash you need now so you can pay it all off. Hey, it's Prosser here. Corey and Jack called Loan Pronto in a matter of days. They had $160,000. They kept their 3% mortgage intact, didn't even need an appraisal, and with all that cash, they wiped out all their credit cards and 2 car loans, saving $2,000 a month. You can do it too. LoanPronto.com, the rapid equity loan program, can get you $100,000, $200,000, even $500,000 in cash. Chloe and Ethan just did it. Consolidated all their high-interest debt into one super low monthly payment, giving them an extra $1,000 a month. Imagine. Pay off all the credit cards, slash your monthly payments, breathe easier. Get your life back. Interest rates are at 3-year lows. Call Loan Pronto today, 904-999-1500. That's 904-999-1500. Or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. The Jacksonville Jaguars have restructured the contracts of offensive lineman Patrick McCary and safety Eric Murray per Spot Track. The move creates a $10 million in cap space. The moves, however, still project Jacksonville to be about $6 million over the cap. The teams must be compliant by 4 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday when the 2026 league year and free agency officially begins. Right now, 79 degrees at 3:06. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Welcome back into hour 2 of Helmets and Heels. Tom McManus is here, Jamal St. Cyr, Aaron Williams. I'm Taylor Dahl, and we are going to continue on some of this Jaguars talk. It's a little warm in the studio, so Tommy's trying to figure out the thermostat over there. But Jamal, I have a question for you. When it comes to, if I were to ask you right now, and a lot of things can change in a matter of about 3 days, because when we hit that legal tampering, things get a little wild and things can quickly change. If I were to ask you at this point in time, of the 5 offensive linemen, are those 5, when it comes to Van Lanen, Ezra, Hainsey, McCary, and Anton, are they starting week 1?
The only one that I think is really honestly in jeopardy is probably McCary. And I think that's just from pressure from Wyatt Milam. Wyatt Milam's going into year 2. Regime, they really liked what they saw from Milam toward the end of last season once he was finally healthy, which I still thought he was going to start the season on injured reserve. The knee brace I saw that he had on at times, and then that's what kind of took him so long to kind of come along, was he was rehabbing that knee throughout the season. Look, by the time it was the end of the year, they were okay if Wyatt had to get out there.
Okay.
And McCary was banged up throughout the season last year, so I don't even know if they saw what the McCary that they expected to get in Jacksonville, because that back never really gave him a shot, and that's something that messes up an offensive lineman.
Oh yeah, you can't play with the back.
Yeah,
I mean any position. I mean that's like everything. I want to see what they do with Walker.
Yeah,
I liked him at guard. I thought he could play right guard,
well,
man. I really do think he can play that position. McCary, can he play center? Are they truly happy with Robert Hainsey? You got Jonah Monheim, right?
Mhm.
Are you ready for him to take over, or is there someone else? You know, I like Hainsey. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that you want to replace him, but could they? You know, because McCary has been known to play multiple positions,
Yeah.
including center. I mean, Cole Van Lant. You know what I love about CVL, man. He, you know, old school brawlers like the bar brawlers back in the day, just fists.
Yeah.
Right. He'd be the guy at the bar, just quiet and not worried about a damn thing. And all the brawlers,
I love
because
him.
remember, you always heard it. Like someone would tell you, "Hey, the guy you got to worry about ain't the
one that's
loudmouth.
not- yeah. No.
You need to worry about
Sitting
that
in the
dude
corner
over there
watching
that's
and
minding
observing
his own
everything."
business, and if you mess with him,
It's
you-
over
you-
with.
Yeah, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble.
You're gonna pay for that.
To me is Cole.
Yeah.
He's like quiet, but man, when he gets on that field, he's just an animal.
Yeah.
And they
Absolutely.
say he's the most athletic out of all the
Mhm.
linemen, which
Really?
says a lot.
Yeah, that does.
Because Walker Little, for his size especially, is a ridiculously good athlete.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, speed, quickness, flexibility, all of it. So I think there could be that. It's going to be interesting how it ends up. You know, look, Anton had a really good year. Do you think about trying him at left tackle and moving Cole to right? Cole can play left.
Cole can play
but
anywhere.
he can play right. He can play guard.
He can
So-
play somewhere on the line. Cole Van
Cole will
Lanen
do
will
it.
start somewhere
He will.
on that offensive line.
So here, did we ever hear what the knee injury was? Is
No.
how long?
No, of
what
course
that
Cole
looks
Van
like?
Lanen,
Yeah.
yes, it
Did
was
we-
something torn.
Okay.
He's supposed to be back though.
Did he
Okay.
have,
He's
I don't
supposed
think he
to
had
be back.
surgery though. Did he?
I think he did.
Okay, because I one time said I thought I heard that, but then I like,
Yeah.
man, I can't confirm that, so I don't know.
I think he did. I forget what
Okay.
the injury is. He'll
Like
be
an
back in time for
LCL,
training camp.
MCL.
Yeah, it was one of those. It wasn't the ACL,
Okay.
so
Right.
it wasn't that.
Right.
But he'll be back ready for training camp.
Yeah.
I think most of their guys are supposed to be ready
On track to be back.
Are on
Yeah.
track to be back. So he had something. He had something, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
sure
'cause
he had
it-
surgery.
Anytime you Google it or try and find something, it still just says knee injury
Yeah.
Yeah.
everywhere, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay,
That's
instead of scraped knee, like I don't know.
yeah.
Just put a Band-Aid on it. It's
We're
fine.
good to go.
Yeah,
We're
I
good
was
to
in
go.
the end zone watching from like on the terror and when his knee buckled, I was like,
Oh,
Oh
I know.
yeah.
you could see it too.
I
You're like,
know.
oh.
It was such a bummer because you just got that
Just got-
contract and
just-
everybody's
Mhm.
pumped and you're like
Yeah.
playoffs, let's go, and
Yeah.
then you see that and
Yeah.
you're like, dang it. What about the other side when you talk about the defensive line? Obviously, Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon, they feel like they're your guys on the outside.
Right.
That inside, if I were to tell you Devon Hamilton, Eric Armstead were the two starting on inside week 1, would you say yes?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think Eric Armstead's in Jacksonville
Okay.
week 1. I think he's a post June 1 cut. I
Mhm.
think it's just a contract thing, honestly. He produced last year. He was solid on the inside. He did get a little banged up, but you're at that point where you have to find ways to clear up money. He's one of the guys who's squarely in the cross eye of an ability to clear up a bunch of cap space. When you start doing these restructures, if you make it through this wave of restructures and they get underneath the cap, and he's not one of them, that doesn't take the bullseye off his back. Because
Yeah.
technically all they have to do is designate him a post June 1 cut whenever they feel like.
Do you feel the replacement is it Matt Dickerson and Austin Johnson and
Absolutely
Mason
not.
Smith?
No.
So then that's where you're also evaluating.
Yeah.
But that's what the draft is.
But it frees up enough money to where you could go get
somebody
too.
post-June, yeah.
if you wanted.
Yeah.
You know, again, when you lose somebody like that, can you replace them? So they'll have to make sure that they do that. The contract's just too big, so I can see the post June 1. And keep in mind, he's not their guy. They
Right.
didn't do
Yeah.
his deal.
Right.
And I do know this. Not practicing takes off a lot of coaches.
Mhm.
That's
It
Yeah.
just does. Even if you're a veteran, like
Yeah.
you didn't practice at all during camp. I mean, we were like, where is he?
He's just in the shade over
Yeah,
to
he
the
was in
side.
the shade. He's inside. Then he came out. Him and Mason came out together. Mason
Mhm.
had the calf.
Yeah.
Remember the whole camp? Neither one of
It
those
was
guys
kind of
practiced.
crazy.
Neither one of them
honestly.
practiced.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's ready for game 1. He was off to a good start. They got hurt. And, look, I will say this about Eric Armstead, and I said this even after last year when he played more DN. You don't move that guy off the line.
No.
Like, he's really good against the run.
Yeah.
And you're going to miss that.
Mhm.
Now, D-Ham's gotten really good against the run. So you
Yeah.
got to find somebody that can, A, stop the run, but also get some penetration like Eric could.
Yeah.
When he really wanted to, he's a tough hombre
Mhm.
to block.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And when he's next to Josh or next to Trayvon, you've seen in the past what that does to that side of the offensive line. They're normally in the backfield.
Yeah.
So I I agree with you, like, because of the contract and the money.
That's the thing.
But, man, here's the thing that ticks me off about it. I was expecting the San Francisco Eric.
That's the
Armstead.
thing.
Yeah.
And that's what they were expecting.
I
too.
know. And it's just, I don't. And again, the knock on him out there was when he's healthy, he's phenomenal.
There you go.
Not always healthy.
I was about to say, how much is this regime looking like? Okay, well, he played a full year. They had him playing the wrong position for whatever Ryan Nielsen wanted to do that for. Then you come back, you don't practice the whole time. You come in, it takes a little bit, but then you get going, then you get hurt. So maybe they feel more production. If you're getting 6 sacks, 7 sacks out of Eric Armstead, then you feel like that contract's worth it. At that point, am I wrong in that sense?
I mean, yeah, the 6. If you feel like he's going to continue to do that,
Yeah.
But he is also at that point in his career where
on the other side,
it's probably on the other side where it's going to start to taper off. So do you really feel like? And the other question is, those sacks, are those sacks where you feel like, okay, well, the attention was going somewhere else and he was able to kind of reap the benefits? Because some of those sacks that are mixed in there, they were kind of effort sacks, cleanup sacks, where he was the guy who kind of benefited from Josh Hines Allen forcing the quarterback into him rather than Eric really collapse in the pocket and go and make a play. He did do some of that. But you have to ask those questions too, is how much of a beneficiary was he from the havoc that Josh Hines Allen's wreaking off the edge, which I know people give him a whole bunch of grief for not necessarily getting as many sacks as people want him to do, but he was moving the quarterback. The problem was that the guys in the middle weren't necessarily like crushing the can, getting the penetration they needed to, so that way they could finish the play.
And Devon Hamilton doesn't give you much in the pass rush.
Right.
That's okay. He's good against the run, and when you go nickel, he comes off the field for the most part. And another thing with Eric, you just got to wonder, like at this stage in his career, does he love the game of football?
Yeah.
He has some side hustle things out there. He does his podcast. I'm not a big fan of doing the podcast during the season. Off season, do whatever you want. I don't know. And I know a lot of players do it. I just feel like, man, your job's to be a football player. Do that in the off season. Like, you want to build a brand, but do it when you're not employed during the season. Like, your job is to win football games, not to see what guests you can get on your show or what you're making in the kitchen.
Yeah, right. We just live in that world
He's
now,
doing
though.
It is a different world.
Because the Kelseys do it, and obviously only one Kelsey's playing. Amon-Ra, the brothers, the St. Brown brothers do it. There's a lot of them, and so you live
when
in
you
this.
win, I guess.
And that's, I think, the difference is. I mean, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, anybody would take him right now to be on their team. So they're like, do whatever podcast you want.
Absolutely.
I'll even make one for you. I'll bring you into one.
Podcast.
And the fans love it when you're playing well. And like for Eric, for what it's worth, when he was playing well last season, people weren't ragging on him for it. The year before when he was playing poorly, those
They're like,
podcast clips were getting circled around.
That's right.
You know, so
they're like, stop eating so much.
Exactly.
And get to the quarterback. I want to get to a few notes around the NFL. We had some intriguing things happen today that may be added to the quarterback carousel too. So I want to chat some of that. That's coming up next, right here on Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Fought for you by Green Law Group on 1010XL. 1010XL covers the Players' Championship start to finish. Track your favorite golfers and get live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates. Teed up by Green Acres Sporting Goods, Performance Painting, and Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
It's a Helmets and Heels Friday, enhanced by Bowden Iron Associates.
Frank Frangie here. I've been telling you about Stanley Pools for years. But you know my favorite thing about this family-owned company? They take such good care of my pool. All I have to do is relax and enjoy it. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and their weekly maintenance makes owning a pool effortless. You can trust Stanley Pools to build your pool or upgrade it. They've done both for me. Call 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
No one knows more about fishing the First Coast than Captain Kevin Faber, the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Reeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services. And awaken 180 weight loss.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. Now's the perfect time to order Logo coffee mugs, or maybe a logoed Stick brand tumbler. They're seriously ice cold and look great with your company logo. HardballCreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
The road to March runs through Jacksonville. The 2026 Atlantic Sun Conference men's and women's basketball tournament is coming to VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Catch all 24 Division I basketball programs in action March 3rd through 9th. Reserve your seat today at asunsports.org/tickets. Jacksonville is the destination for ASUN basketball. Get your tickets to the 2026 Atlantic Sun Conference men's and women's basketball tournament today. asunsports.org/tickets.
This is the home of the Florida Gators. Get your Gators hoops on 1010XL. Brought to you by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental, with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, Checkmate's mascot and brand ambassador.
Why do you even talk in these ads?
People see me on the trucks, Brendan, so they expect to hear from me as well.
But I have over a decade's experience personally installing high-quality polymer floors right here in Jacksonville.
Well, I'm a professional mascot, riding around on the side of your trucks, smiling at passers-by.
Then could you at least tell people about our 2-stage polymer application process? Give your garage the finishing touch with a gorgeous floor that's guaranteed to last?
A bit busy posing for selfies, I'm afraid.
Years of experience?
Check. Adorable mascot?
Check. The team you need to make your garage gorgeous? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Love this. This song's a vibe. Makes me want to dance a little bit.
Come on, party like a rock star.
Party like a rock. It is Friday. We're almost
cooler in here or something.
Yeah, it's cool. It's slowly cooling down.
No, I mean a cooler.
Oh, cooler. Like
you need
as
a
in
cooler. Crack one open.
A cooler of beer.
Not that
it's getting cooler
in here, but it is.
We are cooler and we need a cooler, is what's happening now.
That's right.
Yeah, so some news I want to share. Some of the NFL stuff going on, a bunch. It's to that point. We have legal tampering on Monday, and then Wednesday, obviously, is the start of free agency. Right now is illegal tampering. We know these guys are chatting about some stuff right now.
Absolutely.
The Raiders, though, announced that they are releasing Geno Smith. So he adds to this room of quarterbacks: Kyler Murray, Tua Tagovailoa, Malik Willis, Geno Smith, and Kirk Cousins are free agent quarterbacks that people are talking about that can possibly, we're also, I guess Tua not yet. He's expected to be, which it seems like it's going to happen. So Tua is going to be a part of that group more than likely. So what do you think about those quarterbacks? If you were a team right now like the Jets who need one, do any of those tickle your fancy
Kirk
at
or
all?
Geno?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I had, I'd want a young kid there, like a J.J. McCarthy type. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need him for a long time or them for a long time, but I could use them to. I'm kind of surprised. Well, maybe Geno asked for it.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're going to draft the kid, so let me get out of here. I don't know. But I would think you'd want a veteran there to help a rookie. So that's interesting. But maybe Geno's like, hey, man, I can still play. I can still go start for somebody. The class ain't great out there. And I think Kirk's just a pro. So If you need a QB to run your offense and be efficient and not turn the ball over, be tough for you and be a good leader, Kirk Cousins for a year or two.
Dad.
Absolutely.
The rest, Malik, look, he had a great year last year, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm giving him a
huge
Not
contract.
that big contract.
No.
Absolutely
Tua, I don't
not.
like at all.
No.
I never, I don't know. He's very accurate, or was, 70+%. But I don't know. I never felt that, they should have never paid that dude.
No.
Remember him and Trevor got paid around
Yeah,
the same
Same
time.
time,
And
yeah.
then
Him,
you're
Trevor,
like,
and Jordan Love were the three. It was
yeah,
like bam, bam,
almost
bam.
felt like
Yeah.
you had to pay your quarterback then for
Yeah.
some reason. But yeah, the other guys, no, I don't. They don't really get me too excited. I mean, Geno and Kirk don't either. But I'm just saying, if you
Something.
need a
Yeah.
veteran
Yeah.
that could maybe start or be your starter
Yeah.
for a year or whatever, then I'd go with the.
Do any of those appeal to the Vikings to bring in to just kind of battle JJ and hope that you push JJ?
I've had Kirk before.
Bring
Yeah.
him back, maybe.
Mhm.
Maybe go back to Kirko. I mean, look, I think it depends on where you're at in your process, too. If I'm the Jets, Aaron Glenn needs a solid single. He just needs a guy who's going to get on base.
That's right.
You need a Geno Smith
Yeah,
or
Geno
Kirk
would be good, yeah.
Cousins. You know exactly what he's going to be.
Yep.
I don't need any volatility. If I'm Miami, brand new head coach, it's a whole new thing. I might be willing to take a flyer on Kyler Murray because
Yeah.
I know I got a little bit of a leash.
Yep.
I can give him a year, decide if we need to draft a guy. If it doesn't
Yeah,
work, I
Kyler's gonna
draft
be
a guy
cheap,
next year.
by the way.
This year's
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah.
Right. Next year, I think it
Yeah.
blows up. But you're right. It's only like $5 million.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I was Miami, I might do something like that and check
Yeah.
it out and see, all right, well, and if I got to draft a guy and move on, I can.
If I'm Miami, and I read where John Lynch is like, man, it's going to take a hefty price to get Mac Jones out of here, but I'd go after Mac.
Yeah.
I mean, we
He's
talked.
one.
What did we talk about it yesterday about quarterbacks that spend time in San Fran?
Right.
They end up being all right. Maybe that helped Mac get to where he needs to be, and he's proven that he can win as a starter. Did with them, has in the past. I would put him at the top if out of those guys anyway. If I had to pick. But yeah, the Jets have got to draft a quarterback.
Sorry, they've got. I know.
Maybe
Or
it's
Aaron
tied.
Glenn's like,
I don't
can you
know who
help
it's going
me?
to be, but you
Can I
have
get
to
something.
You have to have something in the hopper.
Yeah.
In the stable. It's almost like when we talk about these college, balancing, do I go portal? Do I go, recruit? And how do
Both.
I keep, right? You do
You need
both, right?
both.
But you got to balance those both.
Yeah.
So same kind of deal here. I know I got to get a young QB, but here's the thing. If you're the Jets, you cannot miss on another first round. It devastates your team for 3 years. So why not have a veteran that can take the load off the kid for a year or whatever, and then put him out there? So I feel like I don't care who it is, Ty Simpson, whoever, you put that young kid out there in front of the Jets O-line and that Jets team,
It's not going to go
they got
well.
some weapons,
Yeah.
but it's not going to go well.
Well, and that's what we
Gonna
talk
hurt.
about so much of the quarterbacks that were. Trevor's an example of quarterbacks put into kind of positions that you're set up to fail in, and that first year, unfortunately, a lot of those quarterbacks drafted in the top 5 have been thrown into situations like that. We see the quarterbacks that have been most successful a lot of times are Patrick Mahomes, who gets to sit behind a quarterback and wait and learn and develop a little bit, and then not get thrown into the fire right away. And so that is another thing. The Jets have just been such a disaster that you feel like you want somebody, one of these guys, and maybe it's a Geno Smith that you come in and you just have somebody that you feel like can lead this team for a little bit. And if you do draft somebody, whether that's in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, they can develop a little bit.
Fans forget that Pat sat.
Yeah.
Fans forget
right.
about that part.
Yeah.
And it's hard because you're going to draft this quarterback so high and everybody's, I want to see him. I want to see him. I want to see him. And then the Chiefs were in a little bit of a luxury because they were fine with Alex Smith at the time.
right.
But
He was their number one player on the board, I think, at 10.
and
They're
they
like,
actually
let's
traded
take
up
him.
to get him.
Yeah.
They went up and
That's
got
right.
Pat.
They did.
And that's for the fan base. You're like, you went up and got this guy? Oh, we want to see him now.
Yeah.
But there is something. It's a different game, especially at different positions. But at quarterback, the central point in that offense and going from college, those offenses are so different from what you run in the league, especially for a lot of folks and a lot of different schemes. So sometimes that sit on the bench for a year means a world of difference for these quarterbacks.
It just shows you how crazy the quarterback position is. Look at San Fran. Trey Lance, number 5. Brock Purdy, the last pick of the whole draft.
Trey Lance.
And look how it worked out.
Yeah.
You drafted Trey because you thought you could make him into something.
Right.
And by the way, Dallas gave up a lot to get him too. And you're like,
so they
okay,
thought
well,
we could fix him.
maybe we can get him right. And then Brock Purdy turns out to be your franchise QB.
Yeah, I
That's
know,
how
it's wild.
crazy. Why didn't you draft Brock higher? Probably didn't measure well. Probably didn't run well, although he's fast enough. Maybe his arm was okay. He played at Iowa State, although he started all 4 years, I think.
Absolutely.
But we'll give him let's take a flyer on the kid.
Yeah.
He ends up
Mr.
being
Irrelevant.
Well, yeah, and then you have guys we've talked about this player a lot because he just won the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold, who goes to 5 different teams. You obviously go to the Vikings with KOC, feel like the KOC and Grant Udinski fix you a little bit. All of a sudden, you get traded and it's worth a lot. They spend a lot of draft capital money to be able to get you over there, and then you win a Super Bowl. And it took a while to get there, but you had to be in the right place, the right time, the right development. All of those things had to be in place. There's one interesting thing kind of developing that I've been seeing. So earlier I saw that Rashawn Gary, obviously he plays for the Packers, posted something on his Instagram. It was like a goodbye to Packers, pretty much. It says, Green Bay, when I got the call in 2019, it was one of the greatest moments of my life, and it always will be. The opportunity to represent Green Bay and Packers Nation across the country and around the world is something I will never forget. Like all the chapters in my life, this one has come to an end. I want to thank everyone who supported me and my family throughout the years. The love, the energy, and the memories mean more than words can explain. On to my next stop. Nowhere near done yet. All 6'5", 275. Can't wait. He deleted it shortly after that. So now there's this, but then he came out and said that he got hacked, and a hacker posted that on his page, and he did not post the goodbye.
He's 6'5", 275.
Yes, big boy.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that big.
Yeah.
He plays outside backer, doesn't he?
He does.
Like a 3-4 outside rusher.
Yeah. They
Wow,
move him
that's
around
a
a little
big
bit
son
and
of
do
a
a
gun
lot
playing that
do a lot with him. Yeah, Schefter tweeted shortly after that. Hasn't been released, no timetable, all options still on the table, including a potential trade.
Yep.
His hacker hacked just for enough time to make a quote graphic and post
A nice
it.
goodbye, and then delete. And then he got back control of the account and
It's
deleted.
like, I'm sorry, guys, I didn't do that.
Sure.
Very interesting. It sounds like one of the situations where probably there's some unhappiness in whatever the situation is between the two, and he probably posted
Micah?
early, and agent came
king
out and
came
was
to
like,
town.
whoa,
Right.
calm
New
down,
Prince.
and that reversed a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got the golden moment coming up on the other side, so we'll get to that coming up next on Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
From the Greenlaw Group Studios, where speed is the spectacle.
Bypass him on the back straightaway.
This Sunday at Phoenix.
We had a lot of speed.
Powered by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234. From the station with the most horsepower, 1010 XL.
It's a Helmets and Heels
Bowden Iron Associates.
Friday.
Veterans have given everything in service of our country. I'm Chris Campione, and if you've been injured in an accident through no fault of your own, or dealing with the consequences of having your VA benefits denied, you deserve someone who will fight hard for you. At Campione Law, we're proud to stand up for those who have served and protect the rights that you've earned. You don't pay anything unless we win your case. Learn more at CampioneLaw.com. Offices, Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
Count on Campion, Campion Law.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
When you're hungry, go big, and more importantly, go to Dailies, where they got anything and everything to tantalize your taste buds and fill you up. At Dailies, our barbecue beef brisket sandwich is slow smoked to perfection, tender, juicy, and full of bold flavor. It's the kind of sandwich that truly satisfies. Try the barbecue brisket sandwich at Dailies. Meanwhile, some favorites never go out of style. The Duval sub at Dailies is stacked, loaded, and made with the bold flavor you want in every bite. Fresh ingredients, big taste. It's a local favorite. Grab the Duval sub today at Dailies. Or maybe you just want a delicious chicken sandwich. Some choices just work. The chicken sandwich at Dailies is crispy on the outside, it's juicy on the inside, and it is full of flavor. Perfect for lunch, perfect for dinner, perfect anytime hunger hits. So grab the chicken sandwich today at Dailies. Dailies is made fresh, it's made local, and Dailies is built for big appetites. I'll see you there today.
Hey, Jacksonville, it's Fred Taylor. If you've been in an auto accident, you need a team who knows how to get you back on your feet and back to your life. At North Florida Medical Center, they don't just treat the injury, they treat the whole person, from physical therapy to pain management. North Florida Medical Center has a team of experts ready to help you heal and recover. I trust the team here at North Florida Medical Center, and you can too. So don't wait. Call North Florida Medical Center and get the care you deserve.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world #1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about not looking at the rearview mirror of unforgiveness. It's so easy to keep looking in the past when someone has hurt or offended us. What we don't realize is that if we keep looking at the rearview mirror of anger, it will cause us to miss out on the good things that God has in store right in front of us. Friends, looking in the rearview mirror of the past will never give you peace in the present.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
For the ultimate and unique gift ideas, visit CuneFlowers.com. RJ Saunders here, and no matter what the reason, Cune Flowers has it all. Sending flowers was never so easy, either online, on the phone, or in their super cool showroom. Cune Flowers converts the extra point every time.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
All right, welcome back to Helmets and Heels on this beautiful Friday. The golden moment today is Logan Paul's a dumbass. Okay, have you seen this thing that he threw out? There, he challenged NFL football players to box him for $1 million. He went after Myles Garrett first.
Oh my
He's
gosh,
like, I can beat Myles Garrett. I'll put up $1 million bucks. Boxing, right? So anyway, now he's getting all these guys. And by the way, it's getting funnier and funnier because these NFL players are showing them their own videos of boxing. Like, Dawkins is working on a bench. He's like, I'll fight your ass anytime you want. Oh, it's been great.
Deion Dawkins.
That's great. Le'Veon Bell. It's like,
yeah, I saw the
I'll
Le'Veon Bell.
And then Logan's like, well, you know how to box, so I'm not fighting you. And then everyone's like, you're a big. I mean, it's a marketing. It's got to be a marketing.
It's absolutely.
He does this.
This
I
isn't
forget.
Jake. This is Logan.
I know. That's
brother,
what I was about to say. I get them confused.
Well, Logan's sitting there going, well, look at all the money Jake makes.
Yeah.
I'm doing wrestling. I'm making money, but I want to make, $30 million on a fight. Let's go,
Aaron
work
Donald.
something up.
Aaron-
Go let Aaron Donald take him on.
Yeah.
That's what we
By
need.
the way, he is a tough dude. There's no doubt. And I don't
for
watch
sure.
wrestling. But Logan Paul is a maniac out there on the wrestling. I mean, he is doing these jumps and flips and land. I mean, he's a great athlete. There's no doubt about it. He can wrestle. I saw him wrestle only the Aftermath. You know that guy Bradley Martin? He's kind of a jerk. He's this big musclehead guy, and he has this podcast, and he has other muscleheads on. He's like, do you think I could take you in a fight? Do you think that's his shtick? Can I win in a fight? Can I win in a fight? Can I win a fight? And him and Logan Paul went at it like on a jiu-jitsu wrestling no gi thing where no top.
Yeah.
And I guess Logan beat him up pretty good.
Really?
Like, got him pretty good. So he does know how to defend. But man, I mean, you're asking when you throw it out there like that, you're asking for trouble.
Absolutely.
And you're gonna get some dude that's gonna be like, listen, I wouldn't even go on the internet.
Yeah. So
I'll just show up and you're going to have to fight me.
I will say, Bleacher Report 19 minutes ago say Logan Paul and Le'Veon Bell have agreed to terms on a boxing match.
Oh, good.
10-ounce gloves, no headgear, 3-minute rounds until someone quits.
Until someone quits.
And what's the purse for $1 million?
It doesn't say yet. That's all it says.
Okay. You know what? Here's the problem. Can you believe it to be true?
Yeah.
Because Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Come on, Mike.
That was
with one left hook, Mike will take your head off.
No.
Rearrange your teeth. You wouldn't have any.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he had shots to take because I watched some of that. Like, it just didn't seem real. So you don't know with that. Is any of it real?
It does feel showy when it comes to these two brothers. That's why I get them confused.
They are
because one
marketing
is
geniuses.
one, what does he? Is he UFC? The other one, what does he do?
I don't even know
No,
what he is.
he does like celebrity boxing
Yeah.
matches.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
he did the boxing match against the one guy and lost not long
No,
ago.
Logan fought Floyd. That's right.
Logan lost Floyd, but Jack does more like the legit fight.
Yeah, he just lost to Joshua.
That's
Broke
it.
his jaw.
Yeah.
So that was a real fight.
Yeah, that was a real
So
fight.
I think he had to take that
but that was
one.
one of the few real fights he's actually booked.
I think he had to do that to show, like, hey, it is real.
Yeah.
Like, look at my jaw. It's broken. What's
oh, yeah, I
more real
remember
than
seeing
that?
pictures.
Come
you know?
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you to having to deal with that. But yeah, I think that sometimes it is showy, but it does make you think how much is real. But in this one, they go through and it's very similar height, weight, reach, everything for Le'Veon and Paul,
Le'Veon
so-
turned legit professional boxer.
Yeah, I did not know
he
that
is.
either,
Yeah,
actually.
he's a legit pro right now, trying to make it up the ranks.
So I guess Paul said, okay, I'll actually take a boxer.
What are
at
the
this point.
what are they
So,
size wise? I
let
didn't
me
know
look.
Le'Veon because I thought
It just popped up.
I
I
thought
wanna
Logan
look.
Paul was kind of a taller guy than Le'Veon.
I think it said.
I mean, Le'Veon was a pretty tall running back,
Was
right?
he? I thought he was like 6 foot, maybe?
6'2".
6'2".
Oh, is Le'Veon 6'2"? Yeah, they're pretty close to each other.
Logan Paul is 30, Le'Veon's 34. Paul is 6'2", Le'Veon 6'1", 220 for Paul, 225 for Le'Veon, and then both 76 and 76.
That should be a nice match. Then good.
It'll be interesting. I wonder what they'll air this on.
I haven't seen
You have to
any of
get
Le'Veon's matches. Have you seen
No,
him fight?
just videos.
Yeah.
He looks like he knows what he's doing.
Okay, all right.
I know a future fighter on the Jags.
Who's that?
Quinn Allen Jr.
Oh,
baby.
yeah, there it is.
That dude is ready to rock and roll. Let me tell you.
I remember.
He gets in fighting stances.
Yeah.
He's not just throwing haymakers. He's
That
like,
day
you
at
wanna go?
camp-
Here's a 1, 2, 3.
I know.
Banana.
Oh my.
That day at camp, he
Great.
put his hands up, and we were all like, "Oh, like
Like,
he's
let's
serious
go.
right now."
Let's go.
No, the one in Miami, they
Yeah.
went down there for the joint practices.
Yeah.
He was absolutely, it was ridiculous. That's the most massive camp fight I've ever seen in my entire life. LeQuint, some kind of way, has like 4 guys going after him going into the indoor and comes back outside. It looks like a cartoon character thing, like his pads and jersey are all messed up. And it's like, all right, and then literally just goes back into the play on the next play. It was the craziest thing I've seen.
What sparked that? Was it a specific? Was it a play?
I don't remember what kicked it off. It
Yeah.
feels like so long ago, but it was everywhere. I don't even know if LeQuint was in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But it poured into the indoor. It was crazy.
Well, because that one, even the one here, I remember it was a situation where like he wasn't even in the play. Somebody else got hit, and he came and defended like his guy. And I'm like, I love this. Like that's the type of guy you want on your team.
Ventrell, they squared off.
Yes, it was Ventrell.
Yeah, nobody landed anything, but and we were all like, oh, wow.
here we go.
All right. I tell you what, that young man knows how to chip block.
Yeah.
You ask some of the DNs that got knocked to the knees after getting a shot from
that's right.
LeQuint Allen Jr., man. That
He'll
guy.
throw a shot.
Yeah,
He will.
I loved it when we played Cincinnati early, and he tagged Hendrickson, and Hendrickson kind of looked like, who was that? Like, where did that guy come from? It was pretty funny.
Didn't they have a mic'd up of
It
that?
was the Max Crosby
Max
mic'd
Crosby.
up against the Raiders. That one was great, but I love some of his special teams plays. Like the literally he's forcing fumbles. He's just diving headfirst into the play like a missile. Just
Supposedly he likes going after the star of the other team, like tries to get
in their head a little
or
bit.
beef with them.
Hey, you need a good crazy guy on the
That's what I'm
roster.
saying.
Come
I
on.
love that
Like
stuff.
all of them have some screws loose, but you need the one where the screw is like hanging, and that's him.
Yeah, you don't want
very
him. You don't want to mess with him, kind
Yeah.
of deal.
Right.
Remember when Aaron Donald put his helmet on to get in that beef after the game?
Absolutely.
Like, "Ugh." Or Trent Williams when he punched Richard Sherman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to hit you in the face. Yeah, hit me in the face. All right. Trent Williams will do anything.
Well,
man.
Miles Garrett, when him and Mason Rudolph had that
yeah,
whole
that
thing,
was- that
swinging
was
his
crazy.
helmet,
Yeah, keep the
just
helmet out of
violent.
Miles' hands, please.
It was a little wild.
There
Which,
was.
by the way, did you see that note? It's like he got pulled over again for speeding, and
saw
they said
that.
it's like 9 times since he's been in Cleveland. He's been pulled over.
Not much to do
Oh,
in Cleveland. Got to race people on the streets.
Like, why are you driving anyway? Hire a driver.
At this
You should
point.
not be driving.
Well, some of them want
Yeah.
some of them will have a need for speed. You know,
Yeah, I like driving fast. Knock on wood. You know, I
Yeah,
can see
I'm
them
not.
wanting to get a badass car and go for a ride.
Come on now.
We used to have a linebacker. I never went. James Williams. He was one of our original linebackers. He had bought like a Lamborghini, which he probably shouldn't have. He didn't make that much money, but it was a really expensive car. And he'd be like, "Yo, T-Mac, you want to ride down to Daytona with me?" And I'm like, no. He's like, I get there in like 28 minutes. I'm like, what? He's like, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I don't mind driving that, but I'm not a passenger.
How fast are you going to make that happen?
You'd have to like 150.
He was
Oh
rolling.
my gosh.
Yeah, you're going, baby.
That's scary.
And when you're on I-95, you can't be doing that.
No,
That's
wild.
ridiculous.
This was a
100
few
is
years
fine.
ago. We had a Christmas party. Our Christmas party was down in St. Augustine. And so we Ubered. My Uber back, it was like a Tesla. When Teslas really first started, like everybody started getting a Tesla. And my driver, he's like, I've had a few drinks at this point. I'm in the back of the Uber. And he's like, do you want to see how fast this goes? And I was like, sure. Like, I didn't know that was like a Tesla thing. This thing, first of all, like 0 to whatever we were going very quickly. And it's not like he went like 100 something. I think it was like 70, but we were on just like down
quick.
A1A. It just goes like 1 second. I was like, holy moly, like gave me whiplash a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt.
I was like, this is
No
kind of
doubt.
crazy.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you should be doing this because I feel like it's a liability if you're an Uber driver.
Yeah,
but
maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not
Maybe
the
it was
best
a way
thing
to
there,
get your
but-
attention.
Maybe.
Taylor.
I don't know.
Hey,
He's like, want to see my fast
cars?
Tesla?
Come on now. Hey.
I'm like, actually, I'm very scared right now. All right, we're going to wrap things up on the other side and say hello to the Frangie Show. So we'll do that coming up next on Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
From the Queen Law Group Studio.
Helmets and Heels.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care. Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Helmets and Heels Friday
is brightened by Bowden Iron Associates.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
David Garrard here, and once again, I'm reporting good news about how good my knees are doing following PRP treatment at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. For an old quarterback like me, my knees are in great shape.
You don't have to be a celebrity or a professional athlete to appreciate the everyday personal attention you'll receive at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. For any orthopedic need, call on the pros at SOS.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Ticket here for Action Garage Door. Nothing more frustrating than your garage door misfiring. When it does, I call Action Garage Door. They take action. Jeff and Art and crew, Jacksonville folks, not some big out-of-town chain. Something goes wrong with your garage door, take action. Check them out. Garage Door 911, garagedoor911.com.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Jacksonville, Lacey here from Fourscore. It's game time. The TPC is taking over the town and we're bringing the heat. Closest to the pin simulator battles, drink specials, huge screens, great food, and a full bar. Hosting clients or entertaining your team, let Fourscore handle your TPC party. Private bays, full service catering, and then straight into March Madness. We'll have bracket contests, buzzer beaters, cold beer, and the ultimate watch party vibe. San Marco or Gate Parkway, Fourscore is your headquarters. Visit fourscoregolf.com today.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens. Also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal.
Stand back, Jason. I'm gonna
Sneeze?
Ugh.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
Ugh. It's all this spring pollen, Jason. It's outside and it's inside my house, and I just can't stop. I can't stop.
Sneezing? Okay, let me help you with that.
How can you help?
At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can improve your indoor air quality with air purifiers, UV lights, and filtration systems. Every new system we install includes high-efficiency 4-inch filters that work better and last longer, even if you forget to change them.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Life can get pretty dusty sometimes. If you spend all day, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Into Helmets and Heels, wrapping things up on a Friday afternoon.
A week before TPC.
Yes, almost to Players Championship. We've got, a lot of things. We talked about legal tampering. We talked about free agency, Players Championship next week, and we have Selection Sunday next Sunday.
That's right.
There's a lot of things coming down. This is that time of year where things really start heating up when it comes to, if you're nerds like us and are like draft and free agency, we love this.
Absolutely.
This time of year is really fun. We shared this off air. The NFL, I guess Adam Schefter broke that the Texans have released Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of expected. It was a lot of talk around that foot, and nobody really knows totally what's going on with it, but it's been a situation where it's really unfortunate for him. We were just all talking about what a player he is, and for some, I don't know what happened, but a player like that to have an injury like this lingering, affecting his career in this way really sucks.
Well,
absolutely.
As a guy that had foot injuries, right? I tore ligaments, severed a tendon underneath my right ankle, my flexor tendon. So it can only be so many things.
Yeah.
Like Liz Frank, that can ruin your career, right? You know, when all the bones scrunch together because it gets compacted. I mean, did he rip a tendon that you can't use anymore? You know what I mean? You don't hear what it is. So there's only, it's not a broken bone.
Yeah.
It's not like, ligament you can fix. You just reattach a ligament. Tendon, if you tear it, you got to, figure that out. But it can only be so many things.
Yeah. I know Joe Cowart talks all the time because he has tendonitis in his foot, and he was on the stretch where he was running a lot, and all of a sudden, it affected, he hasn't been able to do anything, and he's done therapies and all of this different stuff, and it's just lingering.
Fractures.
So something like that. Is that what Josh Allen had?
Yes. Exactly.
The stress
but it depends where it's at.
Yeah.
Right. If it's on your fifth metatarsal on the outside, you can live with that. If it's on the top of your foot, I had a navicular fracture once, and that you can't do anything about. They can't put a pin in it, can't do anything with it. You just got to deal with the pain.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh, so update actually. Schefter just said Joe Mixon requested his release Thursday per source and was granted it today. The move saves the Texans $8 million against the Cowboys.
David Montgomery comes in. I want out.
Yeah.
Maybe he's healthy. Look, when he's healthy, he's a back.
He is.
He's a beast of a back. I mean, he makes your offense better for sure.
Yeah, let's go say hello to the Frangie Show. They are out at the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena getting ready for some ASUN tourney action.
Right.
So let's say hello to Hayes Carline.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hello, Hayes Carline down there at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. How's it going? Some vibes good out there?
Vibes are great. We've got March Madness here in Jacksonville. One of these teams will advance to the big dance. And we are obviously in the middle of a quadruple header today at the arena. Gulf Coast up 48-36 right now on Lipscomb. So about 15 minutes left in this one. And then we got 2 more to come. So, yeah, we'll be out here. We're certainly looking forward to it. And we're really excited about today's Frangie Show, not only being out here, but opportunity to talk some Jaguars for the final time until the legal tampering window gets underway. We'll sort of give our final thoughts. Obviously, Gators have a huge game at Kentucky tomorrow afternoon. We'll break all that down, and we'll keep you abreast of what's going on here at the tournament. And Pete Prisco will join us at 5:15. We'll get Pete's thoughts on all things NFL and Jaguars. So a lot of fun coming up on the Frangie Show.
Sounds fantastic, and it sounds like a party behind you. It sounds like a good time.
It's a great environment here. So if you're looking to watch some great college basketball, the arena is where you need to be.
All right, Hayes. Well, appreciate it. Have a good time down there, and have a good weekend.
All right, you too. Thanks so much.
Awesome.
Yeah, so just so people know, he just said Florida Gulf Coast and Lipscomb are playing right now. Coming up at 5 o'clock, you have number 10 Stetson, number 2 Austin P, and then at 7:30 you have number 6 West Georgia against number 3 Queens.
Yeah.
So a lot of basketball down
Good
there
basketball,
tonight.
man. If you see it in person too, you'll be impressed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you'll be like, wow, these guys can really play hoop.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, in this, you're talking about, like he just said, that this is your way to get into the dance, and
Right.
that's these,
Mhm.
that's like these teams' goals when you're talking about this. And it's cool that Jacksonville is able to host it. We've chatted a lot about the local sports here in Jacksonville that we have with the Icemen and the Shrimp and the Sharks and all of those teams, but the things that they've also been able to do recently when you talk about the Florida State baseball they play every year
Yep.
here. Now you have the ASUN tournament. You're talking about they're getting Cosmic Baseball coming up, Players Championship every year.
That's right.
The events that we get to have here in
High school's
Jacksonville,
here.
high school, yes,
Yep.
it's a ton, and it doesn't ending.
Concerts,
Yeah.
all of it.
Now imagine even more so when this new Stadium of the Future comes,
Right.
the events and sporting events and things that we'll be able to host in that too.
No doubt.
A lot of
No
big
doubt.
stuff on the horizon. First time high school basketball championships have been here for a long time. So
Nice.
basketball fans are living a dream
Oh,
right now.
yeah.
All you got to do is go over to UNF. You're going to get something.
There you go. I like it.
All right, we have Dad Bods on Saturday, tomorrow night
Yep.
at the local in
There you
Ponte
go.
Vedra. So if you want to
Yep.
see Tom McManus and that, they're fantastic. If you haven't seen them, if you have, you
Thanks,
probably want to
Taylor.
see them again. It's always a good time. What do you have going on? Oh, you've got a
We
Gate
got
River.
the Gate River run in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Good luck
So-
to everybody running.
You're not
That's right.
running it.
No, I'm not running it. We're broadcasting it over on News for Jack. So we'll be hanging out by the finish line. We'll do the whole race there over on Channel 4. So it'll be fun. It's always cool to see all the folks get out there. It's going to be a warm one, though. So if anybody out there is running, make sure you are hydrated.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
right. Stretch the calves. Too.
Yes.
Have
Really
you
good.
ever ran it?
I have not. I have
Okay.
not. I've worked it every year since
Yeah.
I've been here. So this is, I don't know how long Channel 4 has been doing the river run.
Yeah.
So I've gone up and looked at the tapes and they go back a ways.
You're
So
like-
this is something that I kind of walked into. So
Yeah.
I've stood on top of the Hart Bridge a couple times, hung out by the finish line. So I've seen different parts, but I haven't had the chance to run it.
Yeah.
We've got a few 1010 XLers that will be out there. Lauren Brooks is running it.
Okay.
All
ET
right,
is
there we go.
running it. Jacob
Okay.
Simons is running it. So say hello.
Good for them.
I'll be looking for 'em.
Say hello to everybody out there.
All right.
All right, that does it for us this week.
Thanks,
Everybody
Jamal.
have a good
Yeah,
weekend.
thanks all
Yes,
for
thank you,
having me.
Jamal St. Cyr, as usual. And then on Monday, legal tampering, so things get heated up in the NFL. Thanks, Aaron Williams, for filling in this week as JJ's on vacation. For Tom McManus, for Jamal St. Cyr, for Taylor Dahl, for the vacationing Lauren Brooks, I'm Taylor Dahl, and this is Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.